good evening. Welcome to downtown Oklahoma City. It is a beautiful July evening here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark as it's time for Oklahoma City Dodgers baseball here on Your View on Cox in a battle of two first-place teams between the Dodgers and visiting El Paso. Well, maybe I should say Bienvenido El Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. It is Chickasaw or Cielo Azul weekend here between the Dodgers and the Chihuahuas of El Paso. And again, two teams that will be battling probably for a playoff spot come near the end of the season. I'm Alex Friedman, joined with Grant Hansen. It's the second series of a homestand, which got off to a great start for the Dodgers. A three-game sweep of the Albuquerque Isotopes, primarily led by strong starting pitching the last three nights against a very good offense.
Yeah, what a great job by this Oklahoma City Dodgers staff. Over 27 innings, only giving up 2 total runs, 17 total hits, basically had a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And it's not like they're doing it against a bad team. Albuquerque went into the series ranked number 2 in batting average and runs scored.
And then last night, the Dodgers finished off the sweep with a 4-1 win. Connor Joe broke the tie in the bottom of the 8th inning with an RBI double out to deep left field. That would score Donovan Solano as the Dodgers went in the lead. A walk would follow, and then the bases were loaded for Jake Peter. Peter was down to the count against Carlos Estevez, lines the pitch up the middle. That scores 2 more runs to complete the 8th inning rally as the Dodgers eventually go in front 4-1.
Yeah, they definitely get the big 2-out hit, or the 2-out hit right there, which they haven't got a lot all year. Clutch hit right there in the 8th inning.
All right, our first pitch is coming up next. This is OKC Dodgers baseball and Your View on Cox. Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark as we get about ready to start here tonight. Mariachi bands, folkloric dancers, and all sorts of other great festivities coming up throughout the course of this weekend here between the Dodgers and visiting El Paso as part of Celebración Cielo Azul. And if you can't make it out tonight, again, you can get more information by going to cieloazulokc.com. The Dodgers enter tonight 2 full games ahead of Colorado Springs in the standings, as Colorado Springs was supposed to play El Paso last night in a game in Colorado Springs. Game got rained out, so as a result, the Dodgers getting a half-game lead by virtue of their win. El Paso, another first-place team. They enter today a half game ahead of Salt Lake, as even though they didn't play yesterday, they gained a half game with Salt Lake losing at home against Memphis. So El Paso looking for its 4th consecutive division title. Dodgers looking for their 3rd in the last 4 years. Hear how El Paso stacks up tonight, presented by the Air Force Reserves. It'll be Forrest Allday, Austin Belsfield, and Luis Arias here in the top of the first inning. Alan Craig, Rafi Lopez, Shane Peterson, then Diego Gariz, Javi Guerra, and the starting pitcher, Brett Kennedy. Dodgers starting pitcher tonight will be Zach Neal, who, again, it's been an interesting year, beginning here in Oklahoma City, getting traded to Cincinnati, then getting traded back. His overall numbers, what you see on the screen, but they've been much better when he's just been with the OKC Dodgers. 6 appearances, 4 starts, 2-1, a 3.2 ERA. First man he'll face tonight is Forrest Allday. Gets the start in right field for the Chihuahuas. Neal's first pitch, a little bit outside for ball 1.
And Neal's a product from OU down in Norman. Was a 17th round draft pick in 2010. He doesn't throw real hard, but one thing he does do is he gets ahead in the count. He throws a lot of strikes.
1-0 pitch. There is strike 1. It evens up the count. And 1 ball and 1 strike to Allday. Allday, Belsfield, and Arias here in the top of the first inning for El Paso. Neal coming off a loss in Nashville. His first time ever as a visitor at First Tennessee Park, a place he spent the last several years of his career. Started game 2 of a doubleheader on Saturday night. Was working on 3 days rest due to a very efficient outing the night before. 2-1 of the first man he's facing tonight in Forrest Allday. Allday swings and misses. The pitch downstairs evens things up at 2-2. So again, El Paso did not play last night. Game rained out in Colorado Springs, and their last game came on Wednesday afternoon as they won handily in Colorado Springs 9-1. Allday pokes one foul off the left side.
That's one thing you're going to see from Neal today or tonight is he relies on that 2-seam sinker ball. He gets a lot of ground balls, and he actually gets a lot of infield flies.
All day starting off tonight's game on a pleasant evening here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Neal's pitch grounded to the left side. Moore to his right. Fields throws to first, and that gets the first down of tonight's game. Here's the defense for the Dodgers. You just saw Angelo Moore, the shortstop, making the play to start off tonight's game. He'll be joined in the infield by Edwin Rios on the left side. Tim LeCastro, Connor Joe on the right side. The outfield, Andrew Tolles, Henry Ramos, Kyle Garlick, and Rocky Gale, longtime member of El Paso and a longtime member of the San Diego organization, does the catching. Certainly could be the secret weapon here tonight. Very familiar with a lot of these players on the El Paso side. Austin Belsfield takes a first pitch strike. Neal, strike one pitch. Grounded left side and threw it to left field for a base hit.
Yeah, he started that first pitch with that two-seamer inside, which he lives on the inside part of the plate, opens up the outside part of the plate. Looked like he tried to throw a slider right there, just didn't have the bite, didn't have the depth, and hung that a little bit.
Runner will be on for Luis Urias. 21-year-old shortstop. Signed out of Mexico a few years ago. 275 average here in his first full season, AAA ball. Urias facing a defense at double play depth. It's another first pitch strike from Neal.
You're going to see he's going to work off that fastball that's anywhere from 82 to 92 miles an hour, but when he throws those for strikes, he's able to mix in those secondary pitches, which we might see right here.
There's the 0-1, and it's on the outside corner for strike two. Now the Dodgers tonight, as you see, in the Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City jerseys. Part of minor league baseball's S. Divertido Ser Un Fan program. It has 33 teams across the 160 in minor league baseball participating this year, including both playing tonight. Urias able to get a piece of a breaking ball to stay alive. Dodgers played a series of Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City against Omaha earlier this season. Late May here in OKC. Actually played one game in Omaha as well. Still ahead of Urias at 0-2. On this inside.
Neal has a little bit of big league time. Spent 2016 the Oakland A's big league team, 24 appearances and 6 starts.
Here's his 1-2. Grounded right to third. Rios to LeCastro, the throw to first. Dodgers go around the horn. It's a 5-4-3 double play to end the top of the first inning. So the Dodgers will come to the plate in a scoreless game as the Dodgers turn 2 here in the top of the first. This is Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. Tim LeCastro getting set to lead off the top of the first inning, or bottom of the first inning for the Dodgers. He'll be followed by Henry Ramos and Andrew Tolles here in the first. Connor Joe, Edwin Rios, Kyle Garlick, the heart of the order, and then it's rounded out with Angelo Mora, Rocky Gale, and Zach Neal. The lineup's presented to you by the Air Force Reserves. Brett Kennedy is having a remarkable season for El Paso, 9-0, a 2.53 ERA, which is good to begin with, but when you consider his home park, Southwest University Park, in El Paso, a very hitter-friendly venue, as well as the other hitter-friendly parks he's got to deal with in the Pacific Conference, it makes it all the more impressive. His last 6 starts, he is 6-0 with a sub-2 ERA. And now he gets to pitch in a neutral environment here tonight in Oklahoma City. Now, Tim LeCastro will lead off the inning. Did not play yesterday, back atop the leadoff spot tonight. Kennedy starts him up with a fastball for a strike.
And that's pretty much what you're going to see from Kennedy. You're going to see him work off that fastball slider combo. He'll mix in a changeup every now and then, keep the hitters guessing.
LeCastro swings, hits one of the air to center field, right to Belsfield. Makes the catch, 1 down. Here's the El Paso defense for you. In the outfield, Belsfield flanked by Peterson and Alday. Around the horn, it's Gariz, Guerra, Urias, and Craig. Rafi Lopez, the catcher tonight. Henry Ramos in the 2 spot in the lineup tonight. Starting in center field this evening. Did not start yesterday. Did not have it at bat. Came in only to play defense. Kennedy misses inside as well. The Yasiel Puig's rehab assignment last few days cut into some playing time for a few of the Dodgers regulars, such as Henry Ramos. Only started 1 of the 3 games against Albuquerque. A little bit outside from Kennedy. It's 2-0. Mike Gashopo's our home plate umpire. Paul Clemens at first base, and Clint Vondrack, the third base umpire. Third baseman Gariz a bit in. 2-0, hit in the air to shallow right, and that'll land well in front of Alday, and it's the Dodgers' first hit tonight.
Yeah, Kennedy started the season 2-0 with a little over 1.0 ERA. Obviously spent some time on the DL, but didn't stop him much because he's picked it up right where he left off back in April.
Now Ramos has now hit safely in 9 of his last 11. Collects the Dodgers' first hit of the night. And they'll have a runner on for Andrew Tolles. Tolles yesterday, 1 for 4. Infielders a double play now. Dodgers turn 1 in the top of the inning. This ball slapped fair down the third base line, heading along the left field sidewall towards the corner. Ramos being waved around by Louis Matos. Throw comes in from left. The relay throw to the plate. It is not in time. And the Dodgers take a quick 1-0 lead on the RBI double by Andrew Tolles.
That's just a great piece of hitting right there with the guy on first base. Obviously, getting ahead in the game to start the game, it's going to give you momentum. And obviously, with Neal on the mound who throws strikes, getting ahead in the game is key.
Well, the Dodgers yesterday against Albuquerque had 2 guys thrown out at the plate, but Ramos clearly in before Lopez could apply the tag. And now a man in scoring position, still just 1 out for Connor Joe. That was Joe last night with a big 2-out RBI double in the 8th inning, giving the Dodgers the lead for good. Takes the first pitch. It's stopped by Lopez. Last night was the Dodgers' 15th last at-bat win of the season. Dodgers jump out in front early. In that last series against Albuquerque, never scored earlier than the 5th inning. But didn't really matter as they swept the series anyway. Now the Dodgers able to get an early run here against Kennedy, his first career appearance at this ballpark. Hitter's count for Joe will foul it out of play behind the plate. Kennedy in his first 14 starts this season, only allowing 3 first-inning runs entering tonight. Coming off 7 innings at home against Sacramento, in which he allowed just 1 run and 4 hits. The 1 run scored on a solo home run. Joe now lines one into left center field for a base hit. Here comes Tolles. Mousefield firing towards the plate. It's cut off, and the Dodgers now in front 2-0. 3 straight hits here with 1 out in the first.
Just a great piece of hitting right here. 2-1 count. Obviously, Kennedy gets behind in the count for the second batter in a row. Allowed to sit on that fastball. It was up. Drives to left center field. RBI right there.
It's Joe's 18th RBI with OKC, his 48th overall of the year. And there you see Zach Neal getting some early run support. They'll see if Edwin Rios can keep it going. Starts at third base tonight. Kennedy misses high with ball 1. Rios is coming off back-to-back multi-hit games. Last night, 2 for 4, the run scored. 3 straight 1-out hits have given the Dodgers a 2-0 lead in the first.
See Kennedy throw over to first. One thing that he's not real good at is holding runners. Giving up a lot of stolen bases. He's got a really slow release to home plate.
Pitch is down and in. Now, although the Dodgers do not run a whole lot, in fact, this is a series between the teams that have the two fewest stolen base totals in the league. Opponents against Kennedy, however, 10 for 12 in their stolen base attempts. Pitch is high. The El Paso infield is shifting Rios. Guerra, the shortstop, playing to the right of second base. And Gariz back where shortstop would be at, say, regular double play depth. You've seen a lot of infield shifts for the lefty Rios throughout the season. Pitch from Kennedy, a touch outside, and it's the fourth straight man to reach base. Two runners are going to be on for Kyle Garlick. Lopez goes out to talk with his pitcher. I was listening MLB Network radio the other day, and I can't remember what catcher they were talking to with, using these mound visits. There's 6 of them. And he said, look, the 2 most important innings as far as I'm concerned are the first inning and the last inning. And if I have to use them early, then it's better to use it early and not worry about saving it for later. Garlick back in the lineup tonight. Had been coming off the bench the last 2 days. Pitches down and away again. Kind of similar situation, just with a team that already has essentially 5 outfielders on it. And then you added Yasiel Puig for 3 days. Left a couple guys as odd men out. Now Garlick's first start since Wednesday. It's the next pitch out of play to the right side. Last night struck out at his only plate appearance. Good start for the Dodgers. In front 2-0 here in the first inning. They've had 4 straight reach base.
And if you're El Paso, you're just wanting to stop the bleeding right here. When Kennedy's pitching, he's getting anywhere from 4 to 5 runs a game on average. There's a called strike.
Kennedy, a guy who's got close to a 2-to-1 ground out to fly out ratio. He's induced 8 ground ball double plays on the year and looking for one here. Ahead of Garlick. Pitch on this high. And looking at the breakdown of Kennedy's pitches, he's about 80% usage rate with his fastball when he gets to 2 strikes. When you tend to see guys really go more to the off-speed pitches. Well, he got that fastball by Garlick. That's a strikeout, his first of the night, the second out of the inning.
That looked like a just good four-seam fastball up in the zone. I was actually expecting the slider right there, so fooled me as well.
2 men remain on for Angelo Mora. Reached base 3 times last night. 2 singles, a walk. Scored once. Takes the first pitch for Kennedy for a called strike. Now back-to-back multi-hit games for Mora. Last time, 2 times he's been in the starting lineup. Just high and inside. And Kennedy was supposed to pitch last night in Colorado Springs, but with that game rained out, he got pushed back to today. And I'm sure at the time he probably had a deep sigh of relief. If you can avoid pitching in Colorado Springs, you will take it. Now it's 1-2 to Mora after the foul. This inning started with a flyout by LeCastro, then Henry Ramos singled, Andrew Toles with an RBI double, Connor Joe an RBI single, a walk drawn by Edwin Rios before Garlick struck out. Now it's Joe at second and Rios at first. 1-2 to Mora. And the foul one back to the screen and stay alive.
You know, one thing you're doing right here if you're Oklahoma City is you're making Kennedy throw a lot of pitches here. And the one thing that El Paso does not want is to get into that bullpen early when they're starting a series here in Oklahoma City.
Kennedy's breaking ball down and in. It's one of those where, on one hand, yes, you've got a fresh pen today with no game yesterday, but like you mentioned, Grant, kind of puts you behind the 8 ball the next few days.
Well, and it kind of makes you wonder if, most pitchers are on that 5-day routine, if maybe having that extra day of rest maybe threw him out of sync a little bit. Pitchers are kind of a creature of routine and habit.
And I think another thing to consider is that, normally I know at least with OKC, when say you have a travel day, you fly the day of the game, they fly the starting pitcher a day ahead. That was not what Kennedy did. He went on the early flight this morning with the rest of his team. Runners will be off. Pitch is grounded to first base. Crank down to a knee, will stop it and then take it to the bag himself. And that will end the bottom of the first inning, but a successful inning for the Dodgers as they score 2 runs with RBIs provided by Andrew Toles and Connor Joe. After the second after the break, this is OKC Dodgers Baseball on Your View on Cox. Celebración Cielo Azul back through this Monday, the specialty weekend, including concession specials, and of course the Chaparral Energy Family Sunday coming up on July the 29th. Find out more and purchase your tickets at CieloAzulOKC.com or call 405-218-2150. The Dodgers, one of 33 teams across minor league baseball participating in this program, and one of 9 in the 16-team PCL. First pitch of the inning to Alan Craig is outside. So Craig's last game was Wednesday afternoon, a career-high 5-hit day in Colorado Springs. It's a swing and a miss on the pitch down and away for strike 1. Craig was 5 for 5, 2 home runs, a double and 2 singles. Pitch hit on the play, the right side. It'll be Craig, Lopez, and Peterson here in the top of the second for the Chihuahuas. Now Alan Craig, 34-year-old veteran. Some notable years with the St. Louis Cardinals. Won a World Series with them in 2011. Deals 1-2 is down. Has had to battle a lot of injuries last couple years. It's the first time he's really been fully healthy in quite some time. Neal's 2-2. Fouled off. Craig signed with the Padres to a minor league deal in January. 534 career major league games under his belt, mostly with the Cardinals, some with Boston as well. Gets another piece of Neal's 2-2 offering. Again for Zach Neal, he signed with the Dodgers to a minor league deal in the offseason. Back to a place very familiar with. Went to school here, wife's from here, brother currently lives here, and then kind of blindsided by an early season trade to Cincinnati. Craig breaks his bat. LeCastro back in a shallow right center makes the catch. But Neal, since he was acquired back by the Dodgers in July the 4th, has pitched very well. We'll go back to his last start. It was in Nashville, and he was cruising until this happened. A line drive off his backside. Now, he did make the play, but after that, he just was not the same pitcher. It was Bruce Maxwell, a former battery mate of his, that hit the ball that went off him. That was the 8th man he had faced. He had retired all 8. As a pitch to Rafi Lopez called for strike 2, but after that, again, he just was not the same. In which 6 of the final 10 batters he faced reached base. They were 3 for 7 with 3 walks. The 3 walks is what really stands out for Neal. The first time in over 3 years he walked 3 batters in a game. Gets Lopez to pop one up and a long run for Moore out of the shift, and he'll make the catch right near the railing. And a long way to go for Mora because he was shaded well towards second base and the only defender on the left side of the infield with the shift on the lefty Lopez. And able to make up the ground. And also, let's give some credit to the fans who did not try and reach out and get that ball. Let Mora make the play. First pitch, a swing and a miss by Shane Peterson. And going back to that last start for Neal, just happened to be in Bill Houseman's office waiting to leave after the game, and Neal stopped by as the 0-1 hit out of play and just unprompted, just kind of brought up how he just did not feel. He said he wasn't in pain after that liner, it just kind of got him out of sorts a little bit.
Yeah, we've been praising him for just how consistent he is throwing strikes and how he commands that strike zone. Gets hit by the pitch and obviously, gets a little bit out of whack. Now, he was pitching on just a 3 days rest. There's a strikeout right there.
So Neal with a 1-2-3 second ends with his first strikeout of the inning. Dodgers still leading this one early against El Paso 2-0. This is OKC Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cons. It's Bill Hasselman's third season as Oklahoma City's manager. Spent a long time in the major leagues as a catcher and originally came up in the Rangers organization and was an Oklahoma City 89er. Led the team to a division title in his first year in 2016. Earlier this year, got his 500th career managerial win, and he has won 3 league championships in his managerial career, 2 at the A-ball level, and almost had one in 2016, which we'll discuss in a little bit. Rocky Gale leads off this inning. First pitch breaking ball called for a strike. Now, Rocky Gale, first time he has faced off against El Paso, a team he spent chunks of the last 4 seasons with. Swings through a breaking ball for strike 2. Between 2014 and 2017, 326 games with the Chihuahuas. Had spent his entire pro career in San Diego's organization until signing with the Dodgers this past offseason. Actually was released by San Diego early in spring training, but an elite defensive catcher and renowned for his framing behind the plate, he was not out of a job for very long.
Last pitch was fastball up. Maybe something soft, slider away. No, it goes fastball up.
Bounces it to Craig opposite way, tossing to Kennedy, gets the first out. Kennedy looking for a quick inning after a 27 pitch first, in which the Dodgers able to get 2 runs, 3 hits, also walked a batter.
I was watching Kennedy after last inning, and I don't know if he hurt his ankle or rolled his ankle, but he's still kind of favoring one of those ankles. He's not getting around real well.
Now here's Zach Neal, who the last time he was pitching in a National League style game, it was against New Orleans. He walked in both his plate appearances. Takes a strike this year between OKC and his time in the Reds organization at AAA Louisville. He's in combined 0 for 3. 2 for 21 across his pro career.
Neal was a part of that 2010 OU team that went to the College World Series in Omaha.
And the last Sooners team to make it to the College World Series.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've talked with him about that before. He'll take a called third strike, but just saying, look, it wasn't a group of superstars by any means, but just guys who really had a huge will to win and just found ways to win game after game. That's Kennedy's second strikeout. He's up Tim LeCastro, flied out to center his first time up. And LeCastro had the day off yesterday, usual leadoff man. Takes a little bit low. 1 for 4, the run scored on Wednesday. So since coming off the disabled list, LeCastro's played in 12 games. And just typical numbers for him: 13 hits, 13 runs scored. chops one towards the middle. Urias to his left, throws to first, and Kennedy gets a much needed quick 1-2-3 second to get back on schedule. As you mentioned, Grant, it's clearly noticeable. He's walking a little bit gingerly. So the Dodgers still lead this one 2-0. This is OKC Dodgers baseball on Earview on Cox. Don't miss out on the next Pizza Hut all-you-can-eat night. It's tomorrow when the Dodgers continue their series against El Paso. Pizza Hut all-you-can-eat packages are available for groups of 10 or more and include all-you-can-eat food, an OKC Dodgers hat, and a game ticket. Call 405-218-2100 for more information. Diego Gariz leads off for El Paso in the third. Neal delivers a strike to start him off. Gariz has spent most of the last 2 seasons with the Chihuahuas as well. Breaky ball called for a strike. 2 for 5 with an RBI and a double in El Paso's last game. 0-2 called for strike 3 in the outside corner. There are 3 pitches. Gariz took all 3 for strikes.
Was a great 0-2 pitch. It might have started on the outside part of the plate, but as you saw that 2-seam run right back over the outside part of the plate, froze him up for the punch out right there.
Neal's second strikeout at a season high tying 6 strikeouts over 4 innings in his last outing. Avi Garrett the plate starts him off with a strike.
I was looking at some interesting stats on Neal, and he's got a .77 walk to 9 innings, which is absolutely incredible.
It's an awkward looking ball off the end of the bat from Guerrero, which I think tripped up Henry Ramos as well. Not that he would have had a chance to make that catch. Looked like it was going to straightaway center field, and then just kind of took a sharp left turn and dropped into shallow left center for a base hit.
You won't see a lot of outfield fly balls with Neal pitching with that 2-seam run. And when he throws that off speed, it's those batters are getting out in front, and that's why you're getting those pop flies around the infield. That one was a little bit deeper.
Kennedy will look to move Guerra into scoring position. Takes a strike after showing bunt. Kennedy 3 for 16 with a double and a couple RBIs this season. Rios creeping in at third. It's dropped down to the right side. A good one by Kennedy, fielded by Joe, and over to first with LeCastro covering. Kennedy does his job. Guerra now at second for Forrest Alday. Kennedy again deading it right side of the infield. No other choice for the Dodgers except to go to first. Alday grounded out his first time up. Barely started his swing, but it grazes the bat. It will be a foul ball. Now, Alday at Double-A San Antonio was putting up mediocre numbers when he joined El Paso, but he's kicked it into another gear since joining the Chihuahuas. Late on that pitch, it's 0-2. Alday last year in the Angels organization. 27-year-old from Friendswood, Texas. Got a piece to stay alive at 0-2. Alday signed out of the University of Central Arkansas by Boston 2013. Looking to get El Paso on the board here with a runner at second and 2 out. Neal's 0-2. Hit in the air to right field. Garlick taking a few steps back, settling under it, makes the grab. Another 0 on the board for Zach Neal. So a hit, but a man left for El Paso, left in scoring position. Dodgers with a 2-0 advantage in the series opener. This is Dodgers baseball on your view on Cox. Celebración Cielo Azul special offer back for games now through July the 30th. Starting at just $15 a ticket, you'll receive a half, $5 in Dodger dollars, plus $1 from every ticket sold will go to the Latino Community Development Agency. Find out more and purchase your tickets at cieloazulokc.com. Call 405-218-2190. Ticket, a hat, and a chance to help your community for just $15. Ramos leads off the third. He got that first inning rally started with a single, eventually scored. Takes a breaking ball inside. Now we've talked about the success of Brett Kennedy this season, drafted out of Fordham University in 2015. A changeup that time, and it's fouled off by Ramos. Kennedy grew up in New Jersey, actually went to Atlantic City High School. Now lives in Brigantine, New Jersey. He's 23 years old. Faced a very notable player his freshman year of high school as he gets Ramos to swing through a pitch for strike 2. When Kennedy was a freshman, he faced a senior, I believe, from the town of Millville, New Jersey, named Mike Trout. And they said that playing against him was that year, Trout's senior year, eventually would be a first-round pick, always packed with scouts in the stands. It was an event whenever you played Mike Trout's team.
Oh, he's fun to watch.
I don't know how he did against him, but I know earlier in my career saw Trout at the A-ball level. Didn't quite envision him being the best player in the game, but you knew he was going to be a good one. 2 hops to the right side. Arias has it and his throw to first for the out. Now Kennedy now has retired 6 in a row after those 4 straight, each with 1 out in the first.
Yeah, he was definitely leaving balls up in the zone in the first inning. He's definitely settled down. The second and third, you're seeing more of a downhill plane in the zone. He's getting to work in that slider a little bit more. He's not pitching from behind in the count like he was in the first inning.
Now Tolles, a 2-hopper. Greg's able to backhand it, toss to Kennedy, and now quickly 2 out. I love this run of now 7 straight outs. 4 have been ground outs. Or excuse me, 5 have been ground outs. The other 2 have been strikeouts. It's a winning combination.
A lot of ground balls today, and another stat when we go back to Neal is 50% of the balls in play are ground balls. That's kind of what you're starting to see with Kennedy, getting the ball down in the zone, more balls down in the infield, ground balls.
Connor Joe, an RBI single his first time up. And now Kennedy behind at 2-0. Joe delivering one of a couple big hits the Dodgers had in the 8th inning last night. And a tie game, 1-1, 2 on, 2 out. Smokes one to deep left field. Ends up being an RBI double. Now Joe takes a strike. Now that gave the Dodgers the lead, and then added 2 more later in the inning on a 2-run single by Jake Peter. Two-one breaking ball, swung out and missed.
There you see back-to-back sliders on started with a 2-0 count. Slider got the strike with a 2-1, goes back to slider again.
Came with another one, and it's grounded straight to Garish. That ends the third inning. Make it 8 straight. Now retired by Kennedy, who's settling in. The Dodgers, however, still have the lead third of the way through. This is Dodgers baseball on Earview on Cox. Well, the last time El Paso played on this field, it was Game 4 of the 2016 PCL Championship Series, an 11-inning win, which gave El Paso the championship series as the Dodgers left a tying run at third base. Oddly enough, it was Chris Taylor right before his breakout season in 2017 who hit in that last ground out. Ron Barajas, who's still El Paso's manager, leading El Paso their first ever PCL championship. Got back to the finals last year, and it went the full 5 games against Memphis. But it was Memphis taking Game 5 and preventing a back-to-back title run. Austin Bousfield has one of El Paso's 2 early hits tonight. Signed out of Ole Miss by the Padres in 2014. Neal's 1-1. It's outside. It's 1 over the minimum face through 3 innings for Neal. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for El Paso. Bousfield hits one in the air, deep right field. Garlick on the move, reaches out and makes the catch. What a running grab by Kyle Garlick. I brought this up on our broadcast before that he's not going to be the first person that comes to mind when you think outstanding defensive outfielders. And I don't say that as an insult, but just more to highlight how Bill Houseman has mentioned how good of jumps he consistently gets when playing the corner outfield spots.
Well, he definitely bailed out Neal on that last pitch. They were trying to go inside, and he left that outside.
So Grant, we now look at the last 4 balls put in play, or the last 3 excluding the sac bunt. They've all been in the air. Is that maybe a little bit cause of a concern here?
Well, we saw early with Neal in the first 3 innings, he was consistently pounding the zone. He was low in the zone, had the good 2-seam sink action. On these pitches, he's missing his spots. Like I said on that last one, they were trying to go inside. He left it outside. Really, really flat slider. Which has allowed them to put a little lift on the ball. When he throws downhill with that downhill 3/4 arm action, he's got a lot of movement. But if he misses his spot, there's not a lot of action to those balls. So they're going to be able to put him in play if he doesn't sharpen up right here.
He's in front of Arias at 1-2. Arias hit into a double play his first time up. And grounds it to the left side again. Off the tip of the glove of Rios, picked up by Moore, but he's got no play.
It's a hard hit ball to third base right there. That's a tough play to make, even if he does get to that. But this is where if you're Neal, you're not really hurt. You're a ground ball pitcher. You got a guy on first, 1 out. This is what you do. Attack the zone, get ahead, use that sinker, let your defense work for you. Get a ground ball double play right here.
Craig takes a first pitch strike. Craig popped out his first time up.
Yeah, Alex, we were talking about Craig and how he's kind of battled some injuries over the last several years since his time with St. Louis, and that's kind of one of the keys to playing this game. Everyone has talent. Staying healthy is the key. It's such a long season. Now it's gone from where back in the day you work out. Now it's more training, nutrition. There's more technology involved.
In front of Craig at 0-2. Got him on the outside corner.
There's that 2-seamer again right there. Freezes Craig. Try to go outside. It runs right back in on the outside part of the plate. Just a great pitch. Beauty. Right there.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do but just look at that one. I'm telling you right now, I've been really impressed with him. I'm trying to figure out how he would, project in the big leagues if he gets back. If he's going to be a middle reliever, long reliever. I don't know if he's going to be a rotation type guy. But anytime you throw strikes and you give your defense a chance, you're going to get a shot to play in the big leagues.
Now that's what he's been when he's been up there with Oakland earlier in his career. Rafi Lopez at the plate, popped out his first time up. Lopez recently optioned from the parent club at San Diego Padres. There goes Arias. Pitch, though, hit into the shift. Snared by Rios, who plays in shallow right and throws to first to end the top of the fourth inning. So the Dodgers had Lopez played perfectly, with again Rios going to the other side and playing at a shallow right. El Paso gets the hit by Rios, but he's left on base. The Dodgers still lead 2-0, and we'll send it over to our PA announcer, Irving Soriano.
That no one has better aim than an abuela with a la chancla. So meet Angie. We have an abuela obstacle course for her so she can show her skills. Are you ready, Angie? Take it away. One down. Oh, there's number 2. So close. And she has it. She is a true certified abuela. Her grandson, Caden, is going to be so proud of his Nini. And we'll send you back to all of the Cielo Azul fun. Enjoy.
Fun and games here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, and some folks soaking in the sun before it sets here in downtown Oklahoma City, with first pitch temperatures in the high 80s. That does not happen too often here in late July. So some folks taking advantage of the grass seating out there, working on those tan lines. Dodgers will look down to a 2-0 lead here in the fourth, as Brett Kennedy, El Paso's starting pitcher, has retired 8 in a row as we start play. You see some of the Cielo Azul hats by some fans worn, and those are the real things right there, the real deal. Dodgers even went a step further and got the helmets. A lot of teams have just been using their regular helmets this year. Rios cuts through the first pitch. He's the last Dodger to reach base. Guerra, the shortstop, to the right of second. That'll miss high. And it'll be Arias, the second baseman, playing in a shallow right field. Garish about halfway between second and third. Rios fouls it back. Well, we saw Edwin Rios and a shift that was employed with him going from the left side of the infield into shallow right, and Lopez hit it right to him down the inning. There you see the defensive alignment here against Rios. Fouls one back. There's just so much data out there today, and I think it was maybe more posturing than anything that came from super agent Scott Boras when he mentioned trying to find a way to ban some shifts or at least limit them.
Yeah, and I'm kind of on the fence there on whether or not you should ban the shift, because they want to say you're taking away the offense of the game, and baseball has kind of transitioned to more analytical. There's more statistics involved, and if you're not using those stats to better your team, I really don't know what you're doing. So I'm kind of on the fence. I see both sides of it. But I guess we'll just see how it goes, see how it plays out.
Well, to me, I just don't understand how you can tell a team if they find a way to do their job better that they can't do it. I mean, I know the only thing I can kind of relate it to is maybe in the NBA where they have that defensive 3 seconds. But even then, it's, it can be up to the hitters as well to make adjustments.
I think we're trying to change the game a little bit too much. And I know we're speeding up the game. Baseball, obviously, it's a longer game than your basketball and your football, stuff like that. So I understand speeding up the game, but I don't necessarily like changing the game. See, Kennedy's got a little bit of a battle going on right here. He's starting to leave the ball up a little bit. He's gotten away with a couple pitches. In the middle of this at bat, they tried to throw a changeup low and away, and he left it hanging. It was a foul ball. Let's see what he does here with a 2-2 count.
And he has won his last 6 straight starts. El Paso's 10-4 in his starts this year, and he gets Rios to chase low for strike 3. Third strikeout for Kennedy.
And what you saw right there was Kennedy. He's changing eye levels as a pitcher. He's throwing that fastball up. He's moving it in and out. And then on that slider down, when you go fastball up, and go slider down, you're going to get those guys reaching. Great job of pitching right there by Kennedy.
Garlick with his second look. Takes a breaking ball low and away. First time Kennedy's ever faced against the Dodgers in his career. First time he's ever pitched at this ballpark. And the way the PCL schedule is set up, these two teams only play each other one series a year and alternate the location from year to year. Guerra near the line in shallow left will make the catch. Now, last year the teams met in El Paso. Dodgers took 3 of 4. The last regular season meeting at this ballpark, August of 2016, it was a dominant 4-game Dodgers sweep in which they outscored El Paso by cumulative count of 33-9 while batting 345 of the series. But El Paso again got them back when there were some higher stakes in the playoffs. Angelo Mora hits one the opposite way out to left. Peterson near the sidewall, foul ground, and he's able to make the catch. The Dodgers are down quickly as Kennedy has now retired 11 batters in a row, and he's doing it with a very low pitch count. But the Dodgers still nursing that 2-0 lead. We'll move to the 5th. This is Dodgers baseball on Earview on Cox. Friends and Family 4-pack returning on August the 10th when the Dodgers face the Memphis Redbirds. You'll receive 4 tickets to the game, 4 bronze combo vouchers, and 4 OKC Dodgers hats for only $39.99. 405-218-2100. Visit OKCDodgers.com for more information. Always some good eating here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Chef Will Fenwick and his team do such a great job. Shane Peterson, who made that nice jumping catch into the sidewall to end the bottom of the 4th, leads off the 5th. Missed a little bit low and away for ball 1. Peterson went down on strikes on 3 pitches his first time up. And Shane shift on with a lefty at the plate. It's outside again. Edwin Rios, the third baseman, will play in at shallow right field. Or the shortstop is on the left side of the infield. Now Rios, good 20 feet into shallow right. Peterson pulls it foul.
It's one of the few times you see Neil behind in the count. It doesn't really phase him. He attacks him. Fastball inside.
Neal's 2-1. Fouled off again. Shane Peterson veteran outfielder, signed as a free agent with the Padres in December. 125 games in his career at the major league level, and now it's a full count. Spent last year in the Rays organization. "3-2, lifted into left center. Easy play for Tolles, couple of steps back.
Yeah, see, Alex, we were talking about that. You know, he's primarily not a fly ball pitcher. He gets a lot of ground balls, but that was a prime example right there. He tries to throw a changeup, leaves it hanging. They get under it and fly ball to left field. That's just good pitching right there. He's behind in the count, climbs the ladder, gets back there.
Interesting to see Neal go a changeup though, 3-2.
He's got to have a lot of confidence in that, and obviously he's pounding the zone with all of his pitches.
That one didn't miss by much, and I think when you've got, we brought this up, Rocky Gale and his familiarity, just his acumen behind the plate overall, it's easy to trust your catcher when he puts that sign down. 2 Hopper Nomura, 2 down.
That's why it's so important to have your pitcher and your catcher on the same page. You kind of get into a rhythm, you get into a flow. You really don't want to shake off your catcher. It's not like it's being disrespectful or anything like that. But he's calling a great game right now, and they're obviously working well together.
Guerra bloop single his first time up. Part of a really young middle infield for El Paso between him and Urias. Guerra's 22, Urias is 21. Takes a first pitch for a strike. Guerra from Panama, signed by the Red Sox originally, came to San Diego as part of a deal for Craig Kimbrell in 2013.
Good curveball right there, down in the zone. Or he can follow that back up with a fastball or double up with another curveball. Probably going to stick with fastball low and away.
It's lined into center field. Now Guerra, who entered tonight hitting just over 200, is 2 for 2.
I think he caught the middle, a little bit more of the middle of the plate than he really wanted to. I don't think it got that run that he's had in the past.
Now the pitcher Kennedy will come up. Obviously, you always want to have that spot lead off an inning if you can. Kennedy put down a pretty good sac bunt his first time up. Swings through the first pitch. Now came off speed again, and again Kennedy cuts through it. Both Dodgers runs scored in the first. Neither team has really had many chances to score since then. Bounce towards LeCastro. Backs up on it. Plenty of time. That'll end the inning. El Paso picks up a single, but Neal bounces back to get the third out right thereafter. We're halfway through this game. The Dodgers still leading at 2-0. This is OKC Dodgers radio, or excuse me, on Gearview on Cox. Now look who is in town during this homestand. The wild horse, Yasiel Puig, on rehab assignment, coming off an oblique injury. Played in all 3 games with the Dodgers against Albuquerque. And at the plate went 2 for 9. A couple runs scored with an RBI. There's him making a catch near the wall last night. And Puig also, there's his hit from last night. So Puig traveled to Atlanta today. He'll be activated off the Los Angeles Dodgers disabled list tomorrow. And there were definitely some moments of Puig being Puig. The bat smells, the bat licks. Run a lot of energy towards the dugout. And, some rehabbers, when they're you know, in town, they just want to get their work in and really not care about anything else and come out of it healthy, which, granted, is the main objective. But, you know, Puig, looking at the dugout, he was probably the team's biggest cheerleader as well during those last 3 games.
Plus, I think it's good to have a guy like Puig that comes down, obviously do a rehab assignment, interact with the players, and just kind of enjoy his time. It's definitely different than the big leagues, but I'm sure he's excited to be back with LA and Atlanta.
You know, that's the thing he actually credited back in 2016 when he got optioned to Oklahoma City under much different circumstances than this past series, and said he kind of realized that, wait a second, the pressure is not nearly what it is, and it really gave him a chance to kind of start to enjoy the game again. Gale fouls it off. It's 1-1. The Gale, Neal, and LeCastro looking to bring up this groove for Brett Kennedy. What are you seeing differently these last few innings opposed to when he had trouble in the first?
Well, you know, Alex, we go back to the first inning. We were talking about mound visits and how you get a limited number of mound visits per game, and we said how it's really important. If you're going to use one, use it in the first inning or the last inning, and they had already scored 2 runs. And I think that was a really good time for them to take a break, talk about it, regroup. And I really feel ever since that first inning, he has settled into kind of the pitcher he's been all year. So, you know, usually when you see a guy through the second time in the lineup, you've already seen all his pitches. The first 2 innings were kind of rough for Kennedy. So now the Dodgers are actually starting to see the real Kennedy the second time around.
Ahead of Gale at 1-2, leading off the inning. It's a piece, stays alive.
And plus, I think he's working downhill a lot more. Whether or not he was opening up and he was leaving a lot of balls up in the zone, he's starting to work down more. You're starting to see a lot more swings and misses. Guess the ankle hasn't hurt him too much today.
This just a little bit off the plate. Mentioned how Kennedy went to Fordham, and probably the most notable person to come out of Fordham with regards to baseball is not necessarily a player, more the announcer, Vin Scully. Weak ground ball. Actually, it was off Gale while in the batter's box. And Kennedy did meet Vin Scully once when he came to speak at a Fordham baseball event. You figure with San Diego, their parent club, in sell mode. Now they traded Brad Hand, their best reliever recently. Might not be done before the deadline. Pitches popped up. Craig near the tarp, runs out of room. I'm going to say that you would think a guy like Brett Kennedy, with the season he's having, likely will get a shot at some point before the season is over to get up to the major leagues.
No, you think you got to give him an opportunity. I mean, obviously he's one of the best pitchers in the PCL right now.
Now, he technically is just a little bit short of having enough innings to qualify because he did spend a little over a month on the disabled list. He's technically does not show up among the league leaders, but still an excellent season. Was named an All-Star, and facing another guy who played in the AAA All-Star game in Rocky Gale, who's, if nothing else, making Kennedy work here, because Kennedy, it's been very quick work for him the last few innings.
I think that's why I'm a little more impressed with Kennedy now is how he started the season. You know, he was the opening day starter, went 2-0 before he got hurt. You're just now coming out of spring training trying to get into the rhythm of kind of the day-to-day baseball stuff, and he's there for a month and then gets hurt.
Gales now worked the count full after Kennedy missed outside.
This will be the 10th
This is going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Gale. The pitch counts the last 3 innings for Kennedy. For the inning, 9, 12, and 12. And it's grounded through the hole past a diving Guerra into left field. Great AB by Rocky Gale to start off the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and if you're Kennedy right there, that's deflating, having a 10-11 pitch battle right there. Gale, good piece of hitting right there. Doesn't try to do too much with it.
Be a sacrifice chance for Zach Neal. See if he can get a bunt down here. Gariz crashing way in as the pitch comes high and tight. I mean, Diego Gariz, by the time that pitch came home, was maybe 30 feet from Neal. Well, Neal trying to get it down to the right side. It's foul, though. Dodgers scored 2 in the first. They had 4 straight guys reach base with 1 out. Then Kennedy retired 11 straight before Gale's single. Neal trying to move him over. And cannot make contact on the bunt.
See Neal try to swipe at that right there. One thing you have to do if you're trying to bunt, you got to keep the barrel of the bat on top. That's what you're kind of seeing Kennedy kind of throwing some balls up in the zone, hoping for a pop-up right here. Let's see if he can get it down.
It's going to be a foul ball. That'll be strike 3. We'll go down to the books as Kennedy's 4th strikeout, and Gale has to remain at first. He's up to Castro, 0 for 2. Swings through a breaking ball, breaking down and away from him. Castro's flied out to center and grounded out to short. Pops this one up. See if it stays in play. Yeah, Craig again near the tarp. This one, though, about 5 rows back. Now, both Tim LeCastro and Donovan Solano, when they came off the disabled list after the All-Star break, it has certainly given a different look to this team and really resembling the one from the early part of the season. Now, last night, LeCastro didn't play. Solano did. Solano's out of the lineup tonight, but is available off the bench. When those two have both been in the lineup since they've both been active, the team has gone at 6-0. And as I say, it's not a coincidence. Grounded towards third, could be 2. Gariz to second for 1. Throw to first in time, even with LeCastro's plus speed. And the double play induced by Kennedy, so the Dodgers are able to get back in the hit column, but Kennedy still ends up facing the minimum due to the pitcher's best friend. 2-0 Dodgers at Bricktown Ballpark. This is Dodgers Baseball and your view on Cox.
The OKC Dodgers become Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City. Get your tickets now by phone or at OKCDodgers.com.
Get all the latest OKC Dodgers merchandise from the official Oklahoma City Dodgers team store. Stock up on all your hats, shirts, and jerseys today at shopOKCDodgers.com. It's your home for all OKC Dodgers gear. It's also your home for Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City gear. You know, the Cielo Azul hat amongst the 33 or so new ones of SD Vertito hats, amongst the top 10 in bestsellers across minor league baseball. Top of the order here for El Paso in the 6th. All day with a swing and a foul tip, it sounded like, for strike one. All day's grounded out to short, flight out to right. Nothing in 2 after the foul ball. Dodgers got 7 innings from their starter Brock Stewart last night. Neal here into the 6th. Well, made a mistake, looked like, with a changeup that time, and all day able to get a base hit.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes that Neal's made. Head in the count, he throws it right down the middle right here. And this is just one of those things where he does have some of the best control in the PCL. But I don't know if he's getting tired, but he's made a couple pitches where he's missed, and that's where you're getting some of these balls in the outfield.
First time the leadoff man has reached base for El Paso. This is inside to Bouncefield. He singled in the first. Flight out to deep right on a great catch by Kyle Garlick last time up in the 4th. Neal misses down and away. He's behind at 2-0. Infielders at double play now. And that pitch missing well outside. 3 balls, no strikes to Bouncefield.
It's one of the few times we've seen Neal in a 3-0 count.
Bouncefield takes it all the way for strike one.
Now, if you're El Paso right here with a 3-1 count, this is a good count to run in right now. If obviously if Neal throws a ball, it's going to be walk to first, runner at first and second. Obviously, if it's a strike, you got a guy in motion. Hopefully, drive the ball to right field. If you're El Paso,
and it's outside. 2 men will be on with nobody out. The biggest threat of the night for the Chihuahuas. That's Neal's first walk. Two men aboard, none out, and Arias coming up.
Obviously, one good thing about Neal being a ground ball pitcher is he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning by letting his defense work.
Arias has hit into one tonight. Sends the first pitch out of play to the right side. The pitch count at 73. Neal's done a good job. It's 14 pitches in the 5th inning, actually his highest pitch count for an inning this game thus far. Remember, he was primarily working in Cincinnati, or I should say AAA Louisville's bullpen. Then when he came back to OKC, had him with a couple of long relief appearances and a couple of starts in the back ends of double headers to start building up. And last time out went 83 pitches, a bit more condensed over 4 innings. But it has been now 6 up and downs tonight, and he strikes out Arias a big first out. Grant, you can comment on that being a former pitcher. I mean, it's one thing for the pitch count, but it's another thing is the up and downs. Getting up, going down, sitting on the bench, coming back out, another inning.
Yeah, and that's one thing we always talk about is trying to stay away from that big inning. If you are one of the pitchers for the Dodgers. But it's all about getting into a rhythm, and definitely Neal had that rhythm for the first 4 or 5 innings. He's obviously run into a little bit of a jam right here. I don't know if that's just fatigue coming into play.
Well, we'll see here. He got a big strikeout of Arias. Now it's Craig who takes the first pitch outside.
You can kind of tell in that sinker, it's a little bit more flat, a little bit more of a four-seam look. Doesn't have that run like it did in the first 4 or 5 innings.
Craig flies one foul down the right field line. I'm thinking that this is Neal's last man. You've got a couple of straight left-handed hitters due up next, and Paredes getting close to being ready in the bullpen.
Yeah, the last thing you want is for El Paso to open up a big inning right here with 2 guys on.
And I think Gale's going to go out and talk and not only discuss what they want to do against Craig here, but extend that time available for Paredes in the bullpen.
Yeah, because I would definitely say Kennedy's got a little bit of the momentum going as far as the pitching, and there's obviously no one warming up in El Paso's bullpen. This is going to be a big time at bat right here for Neal.
All day at second, Bouncefield at first. 1-1 pitch. It's inside.
See that pitch in the first 2-3 innings had a lot of dive, a lot of action to it. Just a little more flatter this inning.
Two and one to Craig. That's down and away. Now he's behind at 3-1. Dangerous spot here.
I wouldn't try to get too cute here. Just try to get the ball in play.
And it's going to be high, ball 4, and they're now loaded for Lopez. Now 2 walks in the last 3 batters. Bill Hasselman gave Rocky Gale the signal to go out and talk to him again. And here comes Bill Hasselman up the steps. It looked like Neal just ran out of a bit of steam here in the 6th inning. He gave up the leadoff single on the 0-2 pitch to Alday, then walked 2 of the next 3 batters. Now Edward Paredes will come in and inherit the bases loaded here in a 2-run game in the 6th inning. So Neal will be done after 5 1/3, but his fate remains in the balance. The Dodgers still leading 2-0. Now Neal so far, again, he is still responsible for the men on base. Well, he is not allowed 10 runs and 24 strikeouts. That'd be one heck of an outing.
No, but Neal was fun to watch for those first 4 or 5 innings right there. He was locked in. Obviously got a little tired this last inning. But again, they're still holding the 2-0 lead. What you need right here if you're the Dodgers is for your reliever to come in and shut the door right here.
Well, when Edward Paredes comes in, we will take a break. Again, the Chihuahuas with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Their best chance to score tonight. It's Dodgers baseball in your view on Cox. To a breaking ball for strike 1. Edward Paredes making his 23rd appearance. 3-2, 2 saves, a 1.93 ERA, 23 1/3 innings pitched. 7 runs allowed, 5 earned on 19 hits, 30 strikeouts, 15 walks. Opponents batting .221. Here's his 0-1. Breaking ball a little bit high. Paredes is working for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. Last time out on Wednesday. Came in 2 on, 2 out in the 6th. At the time, the Dodgers leading 1-0, got A very good hitter in Mike Talkman to fly out. Breaking ball. Popped up, but it's going to get out of play. Then the next inning, though, 2 or 3 guys got hits off him. It was Joe Broussard who followed, and after Broussard walked the first man, with bases loaded, 1 out against him. At the time the Dodgers were leading 3-0, but he got a strikeout and a force out to keep Albuquerque off the board. Dodgers actually pitched a shutout in that game. First time a man has reached third base for El Paso tonight. They've got him loaded with 1 out. Paredes is 1-2. Got him on that slider for strike 3.
Well, he's come in and done exactly what was asked of him to do, is try to put a band-aid on this right here. And as you see a sweeping slider low and away, couldn't lay off it. Paredes has a little over 113 games of big league time with the Dodgers. Drafted by Tampa Bay in 2010, Tennessee Tech.
First pitch is swung out and missed by Shane Peterson as the bases stay loaded. Peterson struck out of the second, flat out to left in the 5th. More shades towards the middle. Everyone else straight away. 2-0 Dodgers in the 6th. Another slider hit out of play to the left side. Paredes trying to find a way to work out of this jam and keep the Dodgers in the lead. Series opener, 1 of 4 between the Dodgers and Chihuahuas. Peterson asks for time, steps out. There's the 0-2. That one too far away for Peterson to even think about.
You saw that sweeping slider last at bat for the punch out. Let's see if they mix it up and try to go fastball inside right here.
Well, they went slider again and missed down. The count evens up at 2-2 to Peterson. El Paso trying to get on the board for the first time tonight. Base hit could very well tie it. There's the breaking ball. It's hit out of play behind the plate.
Well, the one thing you don't want right here is a free pass. You do not want to walk on this and scoring a run. You think he's going to try to stay around the zone. See if they go back to that sweeping slider again.
Here's his 2-2. He went fastball, and now it's a full count. Merry-go-round will be in motion here, with the runners all getting a jump start on this 3-2 pitch. Now Peterson has worked it full after Paredes was ahead of him at 0-2. Full count delivery. Missed it with a breaking ball. He walked him. The third walk of the inning by the Dodgers pitching staff. That'll bring home a run and cut the Dodgers lead to 2-1. And they stay loaded for Diego Garish. This misses high and outside for ball one. Garish for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout. Now the Dodgers just trying to find a way to get out of this inning with a lead still in hand.
Yeah, something we haven't had to talk a lot about considering last series or walks by this Dodger staff.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. He struck out Lopez, but then after getting ahead of 0-2 on Peterson, could not put him away. Ends up walking him to bring in a run. This is high and outside. There is no action in the Dodgers bullpen. Do have another lefty in Guerra due up next. But if he comes to the plate, it means this game at the very least is tied. Time call before the 2-1 can come home. 4 men have reached this inning. Again, the last 3 on walks. El Paso team that entering tonight 7th in the league in walks drawn. Breaking ball foul back. They have struck out the most in the league, and it's not even close. They lead the PCL by 62 in strikeouts.
Alex got a big pitch right here. Obviously the crowd's getting into it. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Got to put him away right here.
Reddish trying to keep the Dodgers in the lead. Here's his 2-2. Lifted high in the air to left field. Tolles looking for it. Has no idea where it is, and it's in the Budweiser deck for a grand slam. Garish with a grand slam with 2 strikes and 2 outs has given El Paso a 5-2 lead.
Alex, we talked about it before, staying away from the big inning, and that's one thing that's hurt this Dodgers team throughout the year, is that big inning. And obviously we have that right here in the top of the 6th with 5.
That is the 6th grand slam allowed this year. In the first home run allowed at home in 9 games at this ballpark.
Well, and one thing to remember is Kennedy still in the game, and he's obviously found his zone, and he's definitely pitching like the pitcher we thought he was, or he is.
Swing and a miss by Guerra for strike 2. He's singled twice tonight. Well, he had 2 strikes on Peterson. Couldn't put him away. Had 2 strikes on Garish. Could not put him away either. Now Guerra hits an 0-2 pitch in a deep right center field. This is going to be in the gap for his 3rd base hit. Guerra will hold at second. And now El Paso is batted around here in this inning. Kennedy's 0 for 1 with a bunt and a ground out.
Looks like we got a cat running around in the outfield.
So we've got our first cat delay of the season. I remember when we were in El Paso in 2015, they had a wiener dog race, and one of the dogs got loose. And now we've got a cat delay here in Oklahoma City. Is anyone going to do anything about this? Anybody?
If you want to join one of the bloopers, then yeah, you're going to try to go get that cat, because I'm pretty sure this is what's going to happen. Someone's going to try to chase it, pick it up, get bit, then you make the blooper reel.
You can't scale that wall, Kitty. I think the umpire's going out to the grounds crew area and trying to move this along. Well, he had one reliever step out, maybe try and coax him. Now he's just chilling.
Now, if you're Kennedy, obviously you're batting right here, but you're still pitching in this game, and it's been quite some time since he's thrown a ball. So we were talking about this earlier in the game, how the opposing pitcher sits on the bench for quite some time.
Oh. I think they're going to try and corral him into the umpire's entrance to the field. That didn't work.
See if we get Dodgers Chief Ground Crew Monty McCoy involved over there in right field. This is probably one of the longer delays I've seen with an animal on the field.
How many have you seen?
I think a squirrel is probably one of the few things I've seen on a field, but I haven't seen a cat. Oh, there we go.
Oh! Oh, Jeff Jackson is going to try. All right.
That's pretty good. I'm sure if you're Paredes, you're not seeing any humor in this.
No. So to recap this inning, it all started with Forrest Alday singling on an 0-2 pitch. Austin Bousfield walked, Luis Urias struck out, then Alan Craig walked to load the bases. Pitching change made, Paredes struck out Lopez. He got ahead of Peterson 0-2, walked him, that brought in a run. Then it was 2-2 to Garish. He gives up a grand slam, and then a double on an 0-2 pitch to Guerra. Resuming play, pitch to Kennedy is high. One from Paredes. Bounce back towards Paredes. That'll finally bring it into the inning, but a big crooked number put up by El Paso here in the top of the 6th inning. Dodgers led 2-0. They're now down by 3. This is Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. Walk with 2 out, able to get El Paso on the board. And then with the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes to Diego Garish, reached down and got him one. A grand slam on the Budweiser deck in left field. As El Paso has taken the lead at 5-2. Again against a pitcher who is retired. Well, 13 the last 14 batters he has faced. by the way, the 4th inning of the season allowed by the Dodgers of 5 or more runs. Dodgers will look to respond here. First pitch strike to Ramos. Ramos singled and scored in the first, grounded out in the third. Kennedy with a called strike on the outer part of the plate. Ramos, Tolles, and Joe coming up. Well, the Dodgers got the leadoff man on last inning, but couldn't make anything out of it. It's in the dirt for ball 2. And Kennedy, 27 pitches in the first. Really cruised through the second, third, and fourth. Did have to throw 19 pitches in the 5th. Gets Ramos to swing and miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Kennedy.
Well, we were wondering if Kennedy's weight on the bench was going to affect him any, and he is just continuing to put guys down. Was it 14 out of the last 15?
Mm-hmm.
And now, obviously, Kennedy's pitching with a lead.
Tolles an RBI double in the first and grounded out in the third. Grounded towards the middle. Looked like Garrett died a bit too early. And Tolles has his second hit tonight.
Kennedy, back-to-back sliders right there, just kind of left that one up too much over the zone.
Connor Joe in from the right side of the plate. It's down and away. Parent club Los Angeles Dodgers playing on the road in Atlanta tonight. They're leading 4-1 in the 8th inning. Looking to take the first 2 games of a 4-game series. Clayton Kershaw so far, allowing just 1 run and 5 hits over 7 innings. Alex Verdugo connecting on his first home run of the season at the big league level. Yasmani Grandal also going deep. Hitting those both now former Oklahoma City Redhawk Mike Fultonevich. Off speed to Joe, called for a strike.
That being Kennedy's 90th pitch, I bet we start seeing a little bit of action in El Paso's bullpen the next inning or so.
It's grounded foul the left side. Now, even if the Dodgers can get 1 run here just to get something positive back, be a big development after the 5-run top of the inning. It's called for strike 3 down to the zone.
That's a pitch, if you're Connor Joe, you want back. It's right down the middle.
And remains on for Edwin Rios. He was walked and struck out. Shift on with the second baseman Arias well into right. Swings for the first pitch. Garrett to the right is second. Goris to the left is second. 0-1 to Rios. And the El Paso bullpen, left-hander Kyle McGrath. Rios takes a 1-1 high.
This is where you see Kennedy battling. Obviously getting later in the game, the ball getting up in the zone. This is kind of what we saw in the first inning when he had some issues.
Now gets Rios to swing over a breaking ball for a strike. Kennedy trying to go 6 innings for the 5th time in 6 starts. Looking for a 7th consecutive win. And to go to 10-0 on the season. Rios able to foul one back. Swing and a miss, strikes out the side here in the 6th, puts up a 0 after his offense gives him 5 in the top of the inning. So Kennedy, again after giving up 2 in the first, has had anything all just but success since. We'll go to the 6th with the Dodgers still down 5-2. This Dodgers baseball and your Dodgers will be back as Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark tomorrow for Game 2 of the series against Los Chihuahuas de El Paso. Tickets start at just $9. Purchase your tickets now by calling 405-218-2150 or by visiting OKCDodgers.com or CieloAzulOKC.com. Adam Liberatore returning to game action for the first time in about a month. Had been out with rib cage injury. Left-hander will draw the top of the order after El Paso batted around in the 6th. Liberatore out of the stretch with nobody on base. First pitch to Alday, called for a strike. This Liberatore's 13th appearance with OKC. Split the year between OKC and Los Angeles. Games with Oklahoma City 2-1, 1.42 ERA. Fastball's high and in. 12 2/3 innings, 5 runs allowed, 2 earned on 13 hits, 13 walks, 4 strikeouts. Or excuse me, 13 strikeouts, 4 walks. Alday fouls the pitch back. So Zach Neal's numbers, 5 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Edward Paredes, 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout, and allowed all 3 of his inherited runners to score. One-two pitch. Back the screen. Housfield and Urias to follow here in the top of the 7th. As Alday lays off the pitch. Evens things up at 2-2. Alday is grounded out, flied out, and singled. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for El Paso. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. 2-2 off of Libertor's glove towards the middle. Moore cannot handle it cleanly. It'll be a base hit for all day.
Base hit.
We were just talking about balls back at the pitchers earlier today. We were talking about Neal. You see Libertor get hit with that one. Looks like he's okay.
Bellsfield at the plate, 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Checks on Alday, who's 7 of 8 in his stolen base attempts. And again, mentioning El Paso, fewest steals in the league. There goes Alday. Pitches high, throw down to second on a bounce, and it's going to go into center field. And now Alday up heading to third. It's his 8th stolen base, plus a throwing error by Gale. Now a man at third with nobody out.
Yeah, he just got a good jump on that. Straight steal going on the very first movement. Throw was a little off.
Dodgers infield will play in. They led this game 2-0 through 5 innings. And it's on the brink of becoming 6-2. On to Bellsfield. Bounces in front of the plate. Stopped by Gale. And this is the first game action of any kind Libertor has seen since June the 20th, a game for the Los Angeles Dodgers in Chicago against the Cubs. Got injured shortly after being optioned Oklahoma City. This is downstairs. It's 3-1 to Bellsfield. Now, Libertor was rehabbing in Arizona, the complex at Camelback Ranch, but I was very surprised to see he never pitched in an Arizona League game. It's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Now, this El Paso team has the best road record in all the minor leagues. Entering today at 34-17 on the road. Bellsfield gets a piece to stay alive. And got down 2-0 in this one for exploding for 5, all with 2 outs in the 6th. Two pitch. Hit into right center field. Garlick coming on will make the catch. Firing towards the plate. Going to be offline. And Alday will score. 6 straight runs now for the Chihuahuas, taking a 6-2 lead.
Obviously not what you want if you're Oklahoma City. That's where it's really important on that stolen base. We make sure that ball does not go to center field. Obviously he's already in scoring position with that stolen base. All it takes is a little poke out to right field for a sac fly. That's a 6-2 ball game.
Brings up Luis Urias, who's 1 for 3. Gets it out of play on the first pitch. Rios hit into a double play in the first, single in the 4th, struck out of the 6th. Pitch is high and outside. Krupke. Breaky ball in there for a strike. And Colorado Springs trailing 2-0, or check that, 4-0 in the fifth. Ryan McMahon has homered for the Isotopes, his 11th. All was good through 5 innings here tonight, but it's gone very south very quickly.
It's a good 1-2 changeup right there by Liberatore. See if he tries to pound him inside with a fastball or go soft again.
Well, Arias lays off the pitch low. Towards 2-2. Got him. Comes through a fastball for strike 3.
And that's such a big at bat right there to get that out. Now you got 2 outs. Bases are empty. You want to get in the dugout and let the hitters hit. Start chipping away at this lead.
Now the Chihuahuas again, another first place team entering this series. A half game ahead of Salt Lake. Salt Lake, though, at home against Nashville, leading 7-2 in the fifth. Already 4 home runs into that game. It's to Craig, called for a strike.
25, Josh Spores.
Craig 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. For Nashville, Ramon Laureano and Franklin Barrano going deep. For the Bees, Jose Miguel Fernandez and Taylor Ward each hitting a home run. This is low to Craig, who popped out of the second, struck out of the fourth, walked and scored in the sixth. Dodgers gave up all of 2 runs over a 3-game series against Albuquerque to start the homestand. And if you count the first 5 innings tonight, they had given up 2 runs in 32 innings. But now have given up 6 over the last 2. And as part of that 5-run 6, there were 3 walks in the inning, one of which drawn by Craig. Pitch got him at his feet. Josh Spores warming up in the Dodgers bullpen. It's kind of like this why I'm surprised that Liberatore never appeared in an Arizona League game. To go without a month of game action. Now, probably pitched on the backfields, probably in a simulated game, don't know for sure. But it looks like his night's going to come to an end, and Bill Hasselman's going to make a double switch. Now things have been tough the last couple innings for the Dodgers. Kyle Farmer's also going to enter this game and play at third base. Again, when Rios will exit this game after making the final out of the 6th inning. Now Spores jogs in from the bullpen. Liberatore will exit after retiring 2 of the 4 batters faced. Liberatore threw 23 pitches. You look at these last now not even 2 full innings, and the Dodgers pitching staff has thrown 62 pitches. Neal, by comparison, threw 64 through the five innings combined. El Paso with 5 of the 6 and one more here in the 7th. Spores will inherit a man at first with 2 out. Again, Kyle Farmer now at third base as well. He will bat in the 9th spot. Pitcher spot is now batting 5th. Now Rios out of the game after going 0 for 2 with a walk. Spores to make his 25th appearance. 0-1, a 4.08 ERA, 28 2/3 innings pitched, 14 runs, 13 earned on 30 hits, 35 strikeouts, 13 walks. Opponents batting .268.
Yeah, he was a second-round draft pick by the Dodgers. 2015 was also named the College World Series Most Outstanding Player when he was with Virginia back in 2015, back when that Virginia team had a pretty solid club in 2013, 14, and 15.
Rafi Lopez batting. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Shift on with Moore to the right as second. Farmer manning the left side of the infield. Pitch from Spores, who's high. Spores' last outing 2 nights ago. A 1-2-3 inning. Through just 6 pitches against Albuquerque. Auto fastball swung out and missed. Now they'll be looking for him to cover parts of 2 innings here with that double switch being put in place. The 3rd reliever used in the last 2 innings. Two and 1 to Lopez, who popped out of the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and struck out of the 6th. Off for a strike, evens up the count. Dodgers bullpen normally really good. Now has had a tough time here so far tonight. 2-2, grounded it towards Mora. To the right is second. Tosses to first to end the inning, but El Paso adding another run here in the 7th. So as we stretch and sing Oklahoma, the Dodgers still down by 4 runs. We'll send it now over to public address announcer Jared Gallagher.
Baseball fans, get on your feet, stretch out those muscles, and join along as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Now let's sing along to our state song, Oklahoma.
Dodgers down by 4 as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. Trailing 6-2 against El Paso, and the Chihuahuas making a pitching change. Left-hander Kyle McGrath now entering the ball game. Fans here stretch it out after the 7th inning stretch. Rousing chorus of Oklahoma, and hopefully get the Dodgers offense going again after 2 runs and 3 hits in the first inning. No runs and 2 hits since. McGrath to make his 32nd appearance. Left-handers 3-2, 3.29 ERA, 38 1/3 innings, 15 runs, 14 earned. Pitch to Kyle Garlick, swung out and missed. 34 strikeouts, 14 walks, opponents batting .237. Garlick 0 for 2 tonight. This time they'll peel the check swing, didn't go. Brett Kennedy in line to go to 10-0 on the season, and not only to get his 7th consecutive win, but for the team to win his 7th consecutive start. 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Garlick fouls the pitch back, 98 pitches, 62 strikes.
Yeah, and if you're San Diego, you got to be impressed with how he finished that game. Obviously, he started really, not in his normal zone and had the rough first inning. But to see how he overcame that first inning, got into his rhythm, settled in, really pitched a great game.
Garlick staying alive.
McGrath is a product of the University of Louisville. Made his major league debut last year. Appeared in 17 games for San Diego. It was impressive. He held the opponents to a .209 average.
Comes straight over the top, and he gets Garlick looking at a called 3rd strike.
And that's something you kind of, you'll see every now and then, just the different arm angles. And most lefties, they have that lower three-quarter arm slot. And McGrath, he really is right over the top.
One away for Angelo Mora, who's 0 for 2. It just seems like it would be so hard to repeat that delivery, but obviously does it. Mora pops one up. Middle of the infield. Second baseman Arias takes charge, makes the catch. Dodgers just have nothing going at the plate right now.
Now we've said it a couple times now, is the key to the game, or key to some of the games, stay away from that big inning. That big inning will kill you every time. And I feel obviously that's where the momentum shift, and Kennedy had already kind of settled in. So once he got those runs, he was ready to go and start pitching with the lead.
Gale batting right, pitches high. Gale 1 for 2 in the evening. It's Kyle Farmer on deck, who came in as part of a double switch. Off speed, misses high. Now you've got Gale facing a guy he's caught over the years in McGrath. Now when we saw that clip of El Paso winning the championship on this field, you could see Rocky Gale in the middle of that celebration. McGrath's fastball called for a strike. Now Austin Hedges, who's now with San Diego, was the primary starting catcher on that El Paso team. Next pitch swung out and missed. What'll always stick with me from that series was Game 1 in El Paso. They got out to a 4-0 lead, but they could not hang on to it. Lost Game 1, lost Game 2, won Game 3 here, and had chance after chance in the late innings to score the go-ahead run. Pitch is lined into right. All Day dives and is able to hang on. And the diving catch will end the bottom of the 7th inning. Dodgers end up going down in order. Everything going El Paso's way at the moment. Well, we've got firework. Celebración Cielo Azul special offer back through games now through July the 30th. Starting at just $15, you'll receive a ticket, a Cielo Azul hat, $5 in Dodger dollars, and the best part, $1 from every ticket sold. He donated to the Aquino Community Development Agency. Find out more and purchase your tickets at CieloAzulOKC.com or call 405-218-2190. Now the Dodgers enter tonight with a record of 4-1 in games in which they have played as Cielo Azul de Oklahoma City, but in danger of having that fall to 4-2. It's a team that of late has been better at winning series openers, but on the whole, just a .500 record in series openers. They had won their last 2 series openers, but have not won 3 straight back-to-back or 3 straight series openers since early May. And the really curious thing has been at home. They've really struggled to start off home series with wins of late. Now they did against Albuquerque, but entering tonight, they have lost 5 of their last 6 home series openers. And again, they trail tonight. Here heading to the 8th, down by 4 runs. Shane Peterson will start off the 8th inning and arguably the most important plate appearance of this game. Came up with El Paso down 2-0. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Bases loaded, 2 out. Edward Paredes got ahead of him 0-2, but Peterson ended up drawing a walk. And then the grand slam followed next. You put Peterson away, it's likely a whole different ball game right now. Adam Liberatore went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 run. It was unearned, allowed 1 hit with no walks and a strikeout. Spore's able to strand the 1 inherited runner that Liberatore left for him. It's to Peterson high.
Bullpen for El Paso's 34, Trey Winginter.
Peterson to be followed by Garish and Guerra. Cuts through a fastball for strike 3. 7th strikeout by the pitching staff tonight. Again, this is an El Paso offense that leads the league in strikeouts by a wide margin.
It's a good high fastball right there. One thing you need to go to the Dodgers here, you got to get back into the dugout. You got to start swinging the bat. This is a Dodgers team that, yes, it is 6-2, but as long as there's outs left in this game, this Dodgers team has life.
Especially at home, where they have pulled off several late inning comebacks this year. Garish takes inside. It was Garish with that big swing last time up in the 6th. 2-2 pitch that, looking at the replay, was not a bad pitch. The slider down, and Garish just went and got it. That's Garish's 7th home run of the year. Again, this is now a Dodgers pitching staff that, although entered tonight having allowed the fewest home runs in the league, have given up 6 grand slams on the season, despite opponents only batting .222 with the bases loaded. It's been all or nothing. It's another fastball by Garish. Well, Gary stays alive, and here was the grand slam.
There's a slider inside where threw the barrel of the bat at the ball, got out in front of it, good extension.
He stays alive by fouling one off. And for the Chihuahuas, that was their 6th grand slam of the year. The first by Garish, who now on the season is 5 for 10 with the bases loaded, so he's certainly come up with the bases loaded big before. It's 2-2. Last year it was 3 for 7 against the Dodgers in the series in El Paso, but all 3 of those hits were singles. Spores misses, now a full count. Los Angeles Dodgers won in Atlanta 4-1. Kershaw the winner, 7 2/3. 1 run, 6 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Kenley Jansen got the final 4 outs for his 30th save. Pitch was fouled out of play to the right side. Well, we're now 4 days from the trade deadline. Of course, the Dodgers, right at the end of the All-Star break, made the deal for Manny Machado. But you have to figure they are not done yet. Seems the consensus is probably needing to add another key bullpen piece. Lost Garish as he walks him. Fourth walk by the pitching staff. Puts a man on for Javi Guerra, who's 3 for 3.
Talking about how outstanding this Dodger staff has been, or they were in the Albuquerque series. For the entire 3-game series, they had 9 walks, and we already have, what do we say, 4 or 5 walks this game?
Guerra is 3 for 3. Again, entered tonight hitting just .201. But he singled in the 3rd. That was a blooper, but a solid single in the 5th, and then drove an 0-2 pitch out to right center for a double last time up in the 6th. Shift on for the lefty. Fouls it out of play behind the plate.
On deck for El Paso is number 12.
Pitcher spot is due up next. It is Francisco Mejia who's currently on deck. The 3 hits for Guerra has tied his season high. It is his 3rd 3-hit game of the year. All have been on the road. Swings to the next pitch for strike 2.
Good 95-mile-an-hour fastball right there, inside part of the plate. This is where you have Mo too. You got to put him away right here. You can't play around with him.
Fastball, this is down.
Like they wanted to go outside right there and missed inside.
I think that's a big difference from innings 1 through 5 and 6 for the present. And that 2 strikes usually didn't take Zach Neal to retire the batter thereafter. Guerra's got his 4th hit. Season high 4 hits from the 8th place hitter.
Yeah, we go back to where when Neal was pitching, he was just he was on a roll in a good little zone, and then you have that 1 inning, and it was just like a completely different pitcher. It's definitely changed since that inning.
He had pinch hitting. He was acquired just a few days ago in a trade with Cleveland, a prize prospect in the Indians organization, who made his major league debut last year. He's won for his first 7 with El Paso. This year at AAA Columbus was batting .279 with 7 homers and 45 RBIs. He a pinch hitting at the pitcher's spot. Right-hander Trey Wingenter has been warming up in the El Paso bullpen. Fouls off the first pitch to left.
Yeah, Francisco is definitely a guy you're going to be seeing playing in the major leagues for a long time.
It was Mejia coming over for relievers Brad Hand and Adam Simber. Gets jammed but floats it into shallow right. Garish heading on home. Garlick's throw going to be cut off by Joe. And Mejia with an RBI single keeps it moving for the Chihuahuas. 7-2 here in the 8th inning.
It's a nice piece of hitting right there by the #1 catching prospect in minor league baseball. Doesn't try to do too much with it, inside pitch. Basically what he does right there, he's throwing the inside part of the bat, the knob, towards the inside part of the plate. He's not trying to change his swing. He's just trying to get out in front of it on that inside pitch.
3 straight have reached base after a strikeout start of the inning. Alday singled in each of his last 2 at-bats and come around to score each time. Well, El Paso began this game through 5 innings, no runs on 4 hits. They were held 4 for 17. They're 5 for 11 since. And that's in addition to 4 walks and a hit batter. As the Dodgers' pitching success has taken a complete U-turn here. Missing high again to Alday, 3-0.
Got a little action going in the Dodgers bullpen. I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to stick with McGrath on this.
It's Corey Copping getting loose. Called for a strike to Alday. Elsewhere in the Dodgers organization, AA Tulsa on the road, leading 7-2 in the 8th inning. Cale Brockmeyer, who spent a good part of the early portion of the season with OKC, is homered. One called for a strike. Another run on the board here for El Paso. 3rd straight inning they've scored. They're up to 10 hits on the night. They won their last game 9-1 in Colorado Springs and now in front 7-2 tonight. Check on Mejia at first. High Rancho Cucamonga on the road in Modesto. They lead at 3-0 in the 2nd inning. Full count to Alday. He is off. Pitch is fouled back. There's Copping warming up. Now this bullpen that did not give up a run in the Albuquerque series has had some difficulties tonight. Not only just getting outs, but throwing a lot of pitches in the process. Got him to chase. Throw now behind Gariz. He's tagged out, and that'll end the inning. Now Alday swung through what looked like would have been ball 4. Then Gale picks off the runner at third. That was Guerra. And that ends the top of the 8th inning. Maybe gives the Dodgers a little bit of momentum heading to the bottom of the 8th. It's 7-2 Chihuahuas on Your View on Cox. Well, he's feeling it. As the Dodgers down is 7-2 heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. He's had some good times at the YMCA in his past, I'm guessing. That is a mustache. Little lady got her face painted here tonight. Over 10,000 on hand here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Kyle Farmer bats for the first time. Came in as part of a double switch last inning. Trey Wingenter, the new pitcher. Pitch is called for a strike. McGrath done after a 1-2-3 7th. Straight change with Wingenter. Breaking ball swung out and missed. Kyle Farmer hitting .296. 5 home runs, 28 RBIs. Last night was 1 for 4. Another swing and a miss. Makes quick work of Farmer for the first out of the inning.
Tall, lanky right-hand pitcher. He's 6'7". Now he has the ability to throw 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. I think he's still trying to fill into his body a little bit. It's tall, lanky frame. Hard throwing right-hander though.
37th appearance, 3-3, 2 saves, 3.79 ERA. Sliders down. Tim LeCastro at the plate. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Pitch misses inside as the Dodgers are 2 for their last 22. Two and 0 to LeCastro. And Wingenter fires a strike. Wingenter, 17th round pick out of 2015 from Auburn. He has spent this entire year with El Paso. Pitch misses high.
Now he's throwing 95, 96, 97 miles an hour, but one thing that you got to keep in mind, he's 6'7". So by the time he gets that extension point, you know, it's just kind of like Randy Johnson. He was 6'11". Yeah, he threw hard, but it looked even harder by the time you released it, and that's what you're seeing right here.
In his career, 3.05 ERA, 191 strikeouts in 165 innings with opponents batting just .213. Castro able to get a piece of one and stay alive. And the Dodgers 2 runs, 3 hits in the first, no runs, 2 hits since. Have not had a man in scoring position since the first inning either. Ginter misses high with a fastball, and LeCastro on base drawing a walk. Dodgers down by 5, late stages of this one. First of 4 games with the Chihuahuas. Game that really has grinded to a halt over the last few innings. Big swing and a miss for Ramos, who's 1 for 3 tonight. It's missing high and outside from Wingenter. Wingenter's last outing coming a week ago, actually. It's been a while. It was scoreless inning against Sacramento. Breaking ball called for a strike. Infielders at double plate F for the Chihuahuas. It's another fastball by him for strike 3. Second strikeout by Wingenter.
Yeah, nothing special about that. Just straight heat right there. 97 on that fastball.
Andrew Tolles is the only Dodger with a multi-hit game tonight. He has 2 of the team's 5 hits. Also has the team's only extra base hit.
Now, last night we had a 2-out. Little 2-out rally in the 8th inning. See if they can get something going here with 2.
Well, the big difference is it was a tie game in the 8th last night. The Dodgers are down by 5 tonight. Next pitch swung out and missed. Tolles with an RBI double and a run scored in the first, grounded out in the third, single in the 6th. Castro goes, pitches high. There will be no throw down to second. I'd imagine it's defensive indifference, but we have not gotten the official word yet. 1-2, breaking ball swung out and missed in the dirt. Lopez fires to first. Wingenter strikes out the side here in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. El Paso still in command going to the 9th inning. This is Dodgers baseball on your view on Cox. Cielo Azul back for Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark tomorrow. Game 2 of the series against Los Chihuahuas de El Paso. Tickets start at just $9. Purchase your tickets now by calling 405-218-2150. Visit OKCDodgers.com. We'll also have coverage here again on Your View on Cox beginning at 7 o'clock. Corey Copping, the new pitcher for the Dodgers, looking to bring some stability back to the bullpen. Copping's first 4 appearances for Oklahoma City has produced 6 1/3 scoreless innings. Or excuse me, not scoreless. He has allowed 1 run. Total of 7 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts. First pitch to Bousfield, called for a strike. Josh Spores went an inning and a third. Allowed 1 run, 2 hits with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Stranded 1 of 1 inherited runners. Bousfield tonight, 1 for 2 with a walk and a sac fly. Swings to the next pitch. El Paso scoreless through 5, but 5 in the first. Or excuse me, 5 in the sixth. 1 of the 7th, 1 of the 8th. Down and away for ball 2 will be fouled by Rios and Craig.
Copping a former Sooner.
2 of them pitching here tonight between Neal and Copping, although they did not ever overlap at OU. Full count to Bousfield. Fouls it back. Single in the first, flied out in the 4th, walked and scored in the 6th, sac fly in the 7th. It's outside. First walk allowed by Copping since joining OKC, and the walks continue here in the later part of the game. Leadoff man on for the 3rd time in 4 innings after not reaching in each of the first 5.
And I think that's a key stat to note, Alex, is when you're already getting guys on base and there's no outs, you're having to pitch from the stretch. I mean, you're already putting yourself in a hole right there, and this is something the Dodgers have done over a couple innings this game with the walks, the leadoff walks, some of the missed pitches. So he goes fastball up here.
One's down and away. Arias hit into a double play in the first. Infield single the 4th. Strikeouts in the 6th and 7th. Copping missing high. His last appearance was on Tuesday night. Through a scoreless inning, allowed 1 hit with 1 strikeout. In the dirt, and now Gale throws back to first, and Bousfield picked off. 2nd consecutive inning, Gale able to throw behind a runner and get it out on the bases.
It's 2 innings in a row that the Gale's gotten to throw behind someone and get him for the out. That's just bad base running right there.
Well, great backhanded pick by Gale, then the strong throw. It's 3-1. And the pitch is on a hop to Mora. From the outfield, grass, strong throw, got him by a step.
That's a great play.
Really had no chance, no other choice but to play it that way. Definitely gets him at first. Now Moore with his 2 feet on the grass past the infield dirt.
Great
Great play for the 2nd out of the inning. Pitch to Craig down and away. Right-hander Rowan Wick throwing in the El Paso bullpen. Craig tonight 0 for 2, but has been on base by a walk-in hit by pitch. A little bit outside. Bottom of the ninth for the Dodgers. They're going to eat a lot. Joe, the pitcher spot, and Garlick due up. Outside again. Walked him on 4 pitches.
There's nothing worse than having a 2-out walk, and that's something a manager and a pitching coach definitely do not want to see. And especially when you're down 7-2, you're just trying to put the ball around the strike zone, let your defense work. And the one thing you cannot do is have a 2-out walk in that situation.
6 walks in the last 4 innings. Now in the Albuquerque series, this bullpen threw 9 1/3 scoreless, allowed 1 walk. It's been a different story tonight. This is downstairs to Rafi Lopez, who's 0 for 4. Shift on with Farmer playing in a shallow right field. Breaking ball in behind it 2-0. That's Kyle Farmer, the third baseman, who plays in a shallow right. And then LaCastro and more of the middle infielders. Swinging a foul tip in Gale's glove. Battle of 2 first-place teams in this one, belonging to the one from the Pacific Conference. Dodgers are in the middle of 14 straight against Pacific Conference opponents during cross-conference play across the league. Pitches hit on a play behind the plate. They're 11-6 against the Pacific Conference entering tonight. 7-3 at home. Now this can usually be a shock to the system for Pacific Conference teams. You play in so many hitter-friendly parks. You come here and you find the ball does not carry nearly what you're used to it being like. And the Dodgers had only given up more than 3 runs in one of the first 10 home games against Pacific Conference teams. That was until tonight. The pitch is hitting the upper deck on the left side. Since the Padres AAA team moved to El Paso, an all-time record of 2-6 at this stadium, but they're in good position to win tonight. Another pitch misses from Copping. "22 pitches in the inning and only 8 strikes. Lopez sends one out to play the left side. The Dodgers' 4 relievers tonight have combined to throw over 100 pitches since taking over in the 6th inning. Lopez fouls off another. Peterson on deck. Checking in on Colorado Springs. Albuquerque continues to lead 6-1. That game in the 8th inning. Hopefully the Dodgers can get some help from the Isotopes. Liner into center. It's a base hit for Lopez's first. Even with Craig going, he can't advance past second. 3 of 4 men have reached base here against Copping in the 9th.
And it kind of felt that's where it was going to go that at bat anyway, with that battle that was going on. And Copping not finding the zone as consistently as he normally does. Staying behind in the count. Being forced to throw the fastball. He's really having a hard time trying to locate any of the other pitches for strike right now.
Breaking ball down and into Peterson, who's 0 for 3, but had that key bases loaded walk in the 6th. Elsewhere in the league, we do have one final. Reno pitches a shutout in Round Rock, 3-0. Taylor Clark gets the win. He's 9-7. Richardson Pena the loss. He's 3-2. Save to Jimmy Sherfy is 13th. Peterson hits it out to play the left side. Christopher Negron with a home run for the Aces, his 12th of the season. Tacoma trying to snap a 9-game losing streak. They're on the road in New Orleans, and they lead 4-2 in the 9th. Cameron Perkins is at his 6th home run for the Rainiers. Peterson swings and misses for strike 2. Salt Lake, who entered tonight, half game behind El Paso. They continue to lead at home. It's 8-4 in the 8th against Nashville. One-two to Peterson. Gets jammed. Flare, shallow right, base hit. Craig will score. Lopez to third. It's 8-2.
Copping's 1-2 pitch right there. Again, missed his location. They were looking to set up outside on that. Throws it inside, gets jammed. Little blooper over second base.
Pitching coach Bill Seamus going to pay Copping a visit. Peterson with his first hit, second RBI of the night. It's hard to believe. It's like we're watching the same game based on the first half and the second half.
Bullpen for Oklahoma City, 34, Ariel Hernandez.
Way back in the first inning, we mentioned how when Brett Kennedy was struggling, that needed to get back on schedule. He ended up going 6 innings, even though the Dodgers got 5 1/3 from Zach Neal. The bullpen has really struggled tonight, and you're going to probably have a few of these guys not available tomorrow due to high pitch counts.
And I'm willing to bet that visit right there was just to regroup. The last thing you want to do is go to your bullpen in this situation. You do want to save some arms for the rest of the series. But by going out there, regrouping, changing your thought process, knew it bad right here.
It's to Gariz, called for a strike.
That's a good curveball right there. He had this whole inning, he has not had a curveball like that that's been that sharp. He's been hanging most of his off-speed stuff. Now he's ahead in the count. He can go back with another curveball or a fastball right here.
It's down and away to Gariz. They had the grand slam in the 6th. Walked last time up. One slowly rolled to short. Mora charges, throws to first. It'll end the inning, but El Paso scores for a fourth consecutive trip to the plate. The Dodgers have a lot of work to do. Joe, the pitching spot in Garlic, looking to get something started. This is Dodgers baseball, and your view on Cox. Now some long faces in the dugout. After things were all well through 5 innings, the Dodgers led 2-0, but it has been flipped completely upside down ever since. El Paso has scored 8 unanswered runs. They can do no wrong at the plate. The Dodgers just cannot do anything at the plate. Connor Joe will look to spark something, as I always like to say. Even if you don't complete the huge comeback, just get a run or two here, just end the game on a high note. Connor Joe 1 for 3 with an RBI single. New pitcher for El Paso is right-hander Rowan Wick. First pitch high, misses in. It's Wick's 8th appearance. 2-0 record. 5 runs allowed and 8 hits in 9 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks.
On deck for Oklahoma City is 3, Jake Peter.
Now, in a complete contrast, the El Paso bullpen has retired 6 of 7 of the batters they have faced. Wingenter done after an inning in which he strikes out 3 and walks 1. And the Dodgers have 2 runs and 3 hits in the first, no runs, 2 hits since. Wick missing high. He spent most this year at Double-A San Antonio. Catches the outside corner. First year in the Padres organization, came on a waiver claim from St. Louis in February. A 25-year-old from Vancouver, British Columbia. Joe able to hit one out of play. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI tonight. Three-two breaking ball in there for strike 3.
Pitch hitter here, Jake Peter.
Jake Peter will pinch hit in the pitcher spot. 12th strikeout by the Dodgers lineup tonight. Now, Peter yesterday, a 2-hit night, drove in 2. And the big 2-run, 2-out single, part of the 8th inning rally. Tonight's post-game fireworks coming up in a little bit, presented by Supermercados Morelos. Tell you what, they've got some power arms in this El Paso bullpen.
I was just about to say that, and what's kind of interesting about Wick was he actually started his career as an outfielder before transitioning to a pitcher, which is something you don't see. I mean, you do see it, but it's very unusual. But they do. They have some electric arms on staff. Wick's sitting 94, 96 with life.
Peter hits one in the air to deep right field. Alday's going to have to put on the brakes. It's going to bounce in front of the wall and be an extra base hit for Peter. That's the most the Dodgers fans have had to cheer about in quite some time.
It's a good location on the fastball inside. Just a great piece of hitting right there. Turning on it, driving its right field off the wall.
7th double this season. And on for Kyle Garlick, who's 0 for 3. Breaking ball for a strike. Garlick has struck out twice, popped out once.
Even down 6 runs, you want to have quality at bats here. I know it's a team game, but selfishly, as an individual, your goal is to play Major League Baseball, so you still want to have quality at bats. With quality at bats, you can possibly put something together.
Dodgers up to 6 hits tonight. One from Wick in the dirt, stopped by Lopez. And tomorrow's game will also begin at 7:05. The ex-Pogo stunt team will be in the house. Manny Banuelos, coming off his toughest start of the year, will look to rebound. Takes on Jerry Gill of El Paso. Battle of dueling lefties tomorrow night. One misses upstairs. Angelo Mora on deck. I'd call this one of the weirder games I've seen in a while. It should out of play behind the plate. El Paso, heading into the All-Star break, they had a 5-game series in Salt Lake. They entered that series in a first-place tie. They swept all 5 games in the road series, heading into the break with a 5-game lead. 3-2, and that's called for strike 3. Strikeout number 13 by the El Paso pitching staff. But they came out of the break losing 4 straight at home. Entered tonight 5-8 after the All-Star break, but they're about to win for the 4th time in the last 5 games. So after really stumbling out of the break, they're starting to stabilize. They meanwhile lost that 5-game lead that they had built. Mora swings and misses, and entered tonight with a half-game lead ahead of Salt Lake, and looking like they're going to at least maintain it. Another update from Colorado Springs. Albuquerque's tacked on 3 more runs. They lead it 9-1 in the 9th. It's funny how this works, isn't it? You have Albuquerque here, and I know it's all about matchups. 2 runs, 17 hits in 3 games. They have 9 runs and 15 hits tonight. Meanwhile, the Dodgers pitching staff has given up 8 runs and 12 hits.
It's the game of baseball. It's almost a different staff than what we've talked about over the last series, and it's almost shocking how well they were playing, how well they were pitching, and how that kind of goes together with momentum of the hitting and the offense. And we definitely just did not see that tonight. Well, we did for the second and probably the 2nd to 5th inning. We had a good pitching battle.
Breaking ball from Wick, missing it as the Dodgers down to their final strike. Angelo Moore is 0 for 3 tonight. Wick trying to finish this one off for El Paso. Here's his 2-2. Bounce to second. Urias over to first. That'll do it. As El Paso, after being shut out through 5 innings, piles up 8 runs over the final 4. The Dodgers, meanwhile, held scoreless after the second, and they dropped the series opener here against the Chihuahuas. 8-2 the final at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Now we'll send it to break. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up as the Chihuahuas take the first of 4. This is OKC Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. El Paso, the one celebrating here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, and I swear the Dodgers do win games when they're not on Your View on Cox, and they'll get one eventually here. We got plenty more of televised games coming up throughout the course of this season, but the Chihuahuas, again, 8 runs over the final 4 innings, come back to beat the Dodgers. Again, a tale of 2 games within this one tonight. After the Dodgers controlled the first 5 innings, El Paso dominant over the final 4. And El Paso strikes first. They won the series opener in the 1 series last year. Dodgers won the final 3. Hopefully that can happen tomorrow and throughout the series as well. The Dodgers and the Chihuahuas continue the series tomorrow. A 7:05 first pitch here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Manny Banuelos gets the start for the Dodgers. Jerry Keel on the mound for the Chihuahuas. Our airtime will be at 7 o'clock right here again on Your View on Cox. Grant, quickly, your final thoughts.
Well, we kind of saw a little bit of 2 different games. We saw where Neal was dominating in the pitching category. Kennedy was struggling a little bit. They got the 2 runs, and then all of a sudden, the big inning in the 6th.